What's up, YouTube? This is your girl, Kay. Hit that subscribe button. See you on the inside. What's up, Chatty Patty Gangs? Go on. What's up, guys? This is your girl, Chat with Kay, and I'm back because I have something to say. Guys, today is my very first episode of Table Talk Tuesday, even though it's Monday when we feminist, but it's going to post, you'll see this on Tuesday. Today, this is my very special guest on my very special show, but you already know the rules are. I'm going to run them down to you just because I got company. The rules still the same. Let's watch the video, like the video, comment on the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and the 2 steps request is please don't skip the ads and show your girl on all your social medias. Today, guys, I am going to introduce you to Christian. This is my pastor's granddaughter. Do not come for her in the comment section because don't do that. This is my pastor's. Let me say it again. My pastor's granddaughter. All right. So her name is Tristan. A little bit about what my first Table Talk Tuesday will be. We're going to be talking about a very touchy subject, but Christian has graciously wanted to come in and share her testimony and how her life has been. It's okay for me to say that Christian she's living her best life right now. Let's just put it like that. Her best life. But she had some dark times in her life, and we're going to talk about it. We want to do this so we can bring awareness to what addiction can do and how it can destroy your life. But she is living her best life right now. I can't say it again. She's living her best life. But I wanted her to come in here on the show because we're trying to reach awareness, bring awareness, because a lot of people are struggling. They think that, they can never turn away from this. And Christian is going to share her story with you guys to let you know that it is possible. She is blessed right now. She runs, believe it or not, an addiction center house right now, guys. Go figure that. She runs that. So, honey, if anybody can tell you that you can change from this, it is my girl, Christian. So, Christian, say hello to the people.
Hi.
Okay. So, I'm going to let her have her lead way for a little bit, let her show what she wants. And she said that I can ask her whatever. And I already told her this is going on YouTube. She already is aware of that. She's okay with that. However, if I ask you something or chime in on something that you don't want me to say, you're
fine.
Just say abort mission. Abort mission.
You're fine.
Abort mission.
We can talk about whatever.
All right, guys. She has the mic on, so Christian, go for it.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Kristen. A little bit about myself. I grew up in Greenfield, Hancock County. Lived with my dad and my stepmom, and I started smoking cigarettes when I was about 10, 11. I just got into it. I thought it was the cool thing to do, so that's what I started doing. I had a really good childhood. I kept the cigarettes from my family. They never even knew that I was doing that. My dad was kind of strict with me, so it'd probably be bad if he found out.
Probably would be.
Yeah.
Wait, Brandon's your dad, right?
Yeah.
Brandon is the sound guy, guys. Y'all already seen Brandon, so you already know who Brandon is. That's Brandon. That's his daughter. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You're okay. And then I got into middle school and I started smoking marijuana. From the time I was 13 to the time I was about 21, 22, I smoked weed heavily and I drank occasionally. It wasn't like a huge thing. But I never really saw myself getting into harder drugs. And I ended up meeting an individual that was doing heroin. And I started off with heroin. And I did that maybe a handful of times. And I remember, you can ask my grandma, I was so sick trying to get away from that. It was horrible. I started smoking spice, which is like a synthetic weed.
We're going to get on that because I want to ask you some questions about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I was hooked on it bad. I was hooked on the spice, and then I started doing the heroin. And then I was honest with my grandmother about it, and she was, yeah.
Ooh, that had to be tough.
Yeah. Well, she knew something was going on because I was sick all the time, and I was always asking people for money, and lying, saying that it was for something else when really it was just for, my drug of choice that I needed. So I was tired of that, and she offered to put me in a rehab. We found a rehab in Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she bought a plane ticket and paid for all of that and flew me out to Pensacola, Florida, called Teen Challenge is what it's called. It's not for teenagers, but it's for like young adults. And it is pretty much a faith-based rehab. It was good, but it wasn't exactly what I needed. I was there for about 3 months, and I met the love of my life in rehab.
Oh, yeah?
He was for the time being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was. And he ran from rehab, and he lived in Columbus, Georgia, and I followed him to Columbus, Georgia. I left rehab.
Oh, wow.
I was 3 months sober, and he ended up getting arrested because he was court ordered to that rehab. So I was left on the streets of Georgia.
Alone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
well, with his
wow.
family, pretty much alone.
Oh.
And I got into the wrong group of people, and I started doing methamphetamine. Once I started doing that, that pretty much became like my life. That's all I did. A little bit of my background. I'm gonna back up a little bit. I've got 3 children. I've got a wonderful family. Yeah, I have a wonderful family, wonderful children. It was none of their fault. I'm totally the black sheep of the family. I'm the only one that's ever been in jail. I'm the only one that's ever been on drugs. I'm the only one, I don't know. I don't know how I got to that point, but I seem to have drawn those type of people. So I spent about 3 years in Georgia just running the streets.
Oh, wow, that had to be tough.
Yeah, it was...
That had to be
It was
tough.
difficult, getting guns put to my head, running from the police, getting put in jail for the first time for shoplifting because I was high and just decided to steal a bunch of stupid stuff from the store. That was my first time getting arrested. And I went to jail for about 12 days. I got out, and it was funny. My grandma and my dad showed up to court when I went to jail, and when I went to court to get out, they wanted me court ordered back to Teen Challenge, the rehab I ran from.
I was trying to help you.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty much, I already had it made up in my mind. I said, okay, I'm going to tell them, yeah, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to run.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I stayed for about 48 hours, and I already had bags packed in the bushes outside the building, and
you had a full-blown escape plan.
I took off.
Funny, but you had a full-blown escape plan.
I took off, and I went straight back to Georgia. I got a Greyhound bus and went straight back to Georgia. Well, I was on the run, so that was, let's see, what month was that? I don't know what month it was, but I was on the run for about 3 months. And then the love of my life from rehab, his mom knew I had a warrant out for my arrest and seen me walk in the streets with a bunch of duffel bags and looking like Skeletor. I was real skinny.
So would drugs actually take away your weight?
Yeah, I was probably, I'm about 145, 150
You look
right
good,
now.
though.
Thank you. I was about 100 pounds soaking wet then.
wow.
I was very, very skinny.
Okay.
I can send you pictures if you want to see them. They're bad. They're real bad.
I'm going to take you back down. I don't want you going to dark place. I'm a happy time. It's happy
Well,
time.
it's a testimony for people,
Well, yeah, that is true, too.
But she called the police on me, said that there was a girl walking down the street with warrants, and the cops came, and I took off running, and they took off chasing me, and they slammed me down on the ground, tased me.
Ooh.
I'm surprised I didn't get resisting arrest, but I didn't, so I just went back to jail, and I got sentenced to 180 days in Muskogee County, Georgia.
Okay.
And so my grandmother, she rode for me the whole time. She kept money on my phone so I could talk to her. And
Pastor too.
yeah,
That's my pastor.
she's always been there for me no matter what, my addiction, through everything I've been through, my pregnancies, my addiction, everything. So I came back to Anderson after I got out of jail, my dad showed up at court when I got released, and I went back to Anderson. Well, by the time I slept the whole 13-hour drive, I guess. I don't remember any of it. But when I woke up, I couldn't walk. Like it's called endocarditis. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's where shooting up bad drugs can get into your bloodstream and mess with the blood vessels. And my blood vessels were literally coming up out of my legs. I had scabs all over my legs and I couldn't walk. And so my dad rushed me to the emergency room, and the doctor said that if I would have waited a couple more days, then I would have died from it. Like they did heart caths on me and heart scans and heart ultrasounds, and had like 6 or 7 different doctors see me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really bad. I was in the hospital for about 10 days here in Anderson. And then I got released after tons of antibiotics and, whatnot. And I went to a rehab here in Anderson called Stepping Stones.
I've heard of that. Okay.
Well, I still wasn't ready. I hadn't had enough yet.
Okay.
Even after almost dying and just doing the most, I still hadn't died. I wasn't ready. I ended up starting smoking weed again with people that live down the street. And I just didn't go back one day. I left and I got back on my my meth binge. I met new people here in Anderson, and I learned how to make meth, and it was a whole different ball game. It was a whole different type of meth than what I was doing in Georgia. It was
okay. So you pause. You learned how to make it on your own.
Mm-hmm. Like shake and bake, like in a bottle, like not like crystal meth, but like shake and bake meth is what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and continue.
So I was kind of dating a guy that was doing it, and that's where I learned it.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. You answered it. All right.
And so me and him split up, and I knew how to do it from, helping him so many times, so I just started doing it myself. Well, let's see, let's fast forward a little bit. The last time I cooked meth, my hair was bright blue, bright blue, like it was ridiculous. And my grandmother knew I was staying at this house over by the church, over by her church.
Okay.
And I remember I had just got done shaking a bottle, and a guy that was staying there came in and said, "Kristen, there's cops at the door." I'm like, okay. Well, everything was put up. The smell was gone. I had everything put up. They weren't there for me. The guy that lived there was on house arrest, and they were coming because someone made a complaint that meth was being made in the house. So the cops look around. He was like, "Well, I don't see anything weird going on here." They saw me. They didn't ask me any questions or anything. And about 2 minutes later, the guy that told me they were there comes back in my room and said, "Kristen, they're going through the trash cans." And they had thrown all of our trash from making the meth in the trash cans. So up that window goes, out I go, I take off running. I go and sit in an abandoned house 2 streets down for about 4 hours waiting for the cops to stop driving around looking for me. And I hurried up and dyed my hair back to brown real fast, and I called my grandma. I said, I told her what happened. I was like, "It's okay though. I wasn't even there, but it's cool. I've dyed my hair blue. It's not blue no more. You'll be happy." It's not. My grandma's not stupid. She knew.
Right.
She knew.
Like, okay.
Yeah. So after that, I had a court appearance in Anderson for another theft charge that I had, and I was just so broken, and so I was living on the streets. I was waiting for people to drive through McDonald's drive-through and throw their trash away so I could get some food. Like, that's how I was eating. I was stealing food. I didn't have anything. It was horrible. And I told my grandma, I said, when I go to court, I'm going to tell them that I just want them to put me in jail if it's for fees or something that I owed. And the prosecutor said, "Okay, you'll have a bed to sleep in, you'll have food to eat, maybe we can get you some help with and my grandmother." As soon as I went to jail, my grandmother started looking for another rehab for me. Well, we found House of Seeds of Hope in Indianapolis. I went there, completed it, got out, still wasn't done.
Okay.
Went back on the streets. It was kind of back and forth. That's how it is. It's if you're not ready to give it up, it's not going to work. As many times as you try, if you're not doing it for you, it's not going to work. You can't do it for anybody else. You have to do it for you. I was on the streets for about another year. That's when she opened the House of Shifra. And she had been trying to get me to go to the House of Shifra for my last 3 months. I was out there using, she would call me and say, well, I'd talk to her for a couple of minutes, and I'd be like, well, I'll call you back and we'll talk about it. And I would never call her back, And
Deflecting.
Yes.
Deflecting.
I wasn't ready still. Well, I got arrested for auto theft. I stole someone's car and drove it around like it was my car for like 2 weeks. Like, had all my stuff in it and everything, like it was my car.
Like your car. Like,
and
this is mine.
yeah. Well, the key was in the ignition when I took it, so that's why I thought that it was okay, but it definitely was not okay.
Easy grab. Don't leave your keys in your car.
Right.
Go ahead.
So I did about 6 days in Marion County Jail, and she was waiting outside the doors when I got out, and I came back to Anderson. I was living in Indy at that time.
She said, oh no, you ain't running this time.
Yeah, she drove me back she told me, she said, I'll pick you up. She said, but you have to promise me that you will try, you'll go to the house and we'll give it a shot. I'm like, okay. I didn't have anything else to lose. I wasn't positive that I was ready to stop, but I was willing to give it a chance. So that's what I did. I went to the House of Shifra, and slowly, things got better. I got a job at McDonald's. I was going.
Job.
Yeah, it's a job.
It's a job. Okay.
I got a job at McDonald's.
They do get you some coins.
Yeah, it was within walking distance. It was really easy to get to work. I started going to meetings, and I started meeting people in the sober recovery, the community, and the other girls that were at the house, it just turned into normal for me. I had to change my people, places, and things completely to be able to actually stay sober. It doesn't work if you only change your places. If you still have the same friends, it's going to lead right back to the same thing. So I was at the House of Shifra for about 6 months. I completed the program, and I met Michael, who is my husband now.
I've heard great things about him, by the way.
Yeah, he's
Just
great.
so you know.
He's great. He was the house manager at a men's house here in Anderson, and I was the house coordinator at House of Shifra.
Okay.
And so we met, and I still kept my recovery first. I already had it in my head that this was it. I can't mess up anymore. I was finally getting my relationship back with my family and my children, which had been lost for so long.
It wasn't you. It wasn't you.
No, it's not. Like, I thought, like, I would use and I would think about my children and I would just cry. Like, I had people that I used with, and we would use, and then we would talk about our kids, or we would talk about God, and and it was like, I knew I wanted to stop, I just didn't know how.
Exactly.
And actually, all the people that I was using with, like about 6 out of 10 of them are all sober now.
Oh, good.
All sober and doing great. And it's like, I started it, and then everybody else followed in line.
Domino effect. Y'all see that? The domino effect.
It was great, and I'm so happy for them. I still kind of keep my distance. They live in Indianapolis, and I stay here, but I talk to them on the phone and stuff. Just we help each other. We help each other out.
So, with all that. And guys, this is not a gang up on Christians. We're not doing that. We're doing this to bring awareness of how dark this be, but doesn't mean, like she kept saying time and time again, if you're not ready, it's not going to work. If you're not ready, it's not going to work. And that's what I heard her say throughout her telling her testimony and her story. It's like, if you're not ready. So you had to make it up in your mind. It's like, hey, even though you loved your kids, we're not going to take that away from you as a mom. We know you love your family. We're not going to take that away from you as a mom. Pastor Sue is amazing, by the way, and that is mine. I'm not saying that because she's my pastor, but but I take the pastor name
As a
out of
person,
it.
she's
As a
awesome.
person, when people, you hear people say, oh, that type of person to give their shirt off your back. Pastor Sue is that person, literally that person.
Yep.
You know, if you tell her you're hungry, she's gonna find something for you to eat. That's just how she is. And I noticed later, I spent a lot of time with her. You know, and when I asked her for permissions for I can do this, I said, well, do you think Christian would do this? Because she told me her story, and I was so proud of you. And I haven't even met you then, but I had met my baby, her daughter. That's one of my kids. So I love, and they look so much alike. Oh my God. But I just like, Pastor Sue, I want to try to use my channel and my platform on YouTube to just, it's Table Talk Tuesday. It's always going to be a serious topic, okay? And if you don't want to hear, I should have said in the beginning, children extra left. But then again, no. If they're teenagers, this is what they need to hear, because we're going to go back to this whole spice thing. And the reason why I want to ask you that, because my loved one that's he's incarcerated, which will be on my Table Talk Tuesday for next week. But you can't see him, but you hear him he's going to call me on the phone. We're going to record. That's how that's going to go. But he got a hold to spice while he's in prison now, and it made him flip completely out. So I want you to kind of educate on us for those who never used it and why you shouldn't use it, because they said he kept telling me on the phone that he had a seizure, and I'm like, so you really can?
Yeah.
And this is stuff that you can buy.
Well, when I was doing it, I was able to buy it at gas stations.
That's what I was going to ask you.
They sold it like under the table. Well, first you could just buy it, you know, it would be up with the cigars and stuff like that, and you could just buy it. And then it's like, then they would ban that. And then another kind would come out that was more addicting with different chemicals in it. Pretty much just a potpourri that people put in a big, huge barrel and fill that barrel with chemicals. I'm not sure what the chemicals are, but I know it's just they sit in these chemicals, and then they pull them out and they dry them out and bag them up and sell them. And it smells just like potpourri, like an incense is what it is like. That's what it looks like. It looks like you're smoking a smell good incense is what it's.
And it has that dangerous effect. So what I want to say on that part of it, you can hear what she says, how dangerous this is. Don't do it, people. Young kids, don't do drugs. It's not worth it. We're doing this to say, when they say no to drugs, say no to drugs, because this is the generation now. If we could, Christian sharing her testimony here on my channel, on my platform, if anybody out there that can hear her story, she has said, I'm gonna say it again, if you're not ready, you got to be ready for yourself. So, but Kristen now has been clean for how long now?
It'll be 4 years, March 10th.
4 years, March 10th. And so, but is it easy when people say once you're an addict, you're always an addict, but you're a recovering addict? Is that really true?
That's true.
That's true?
True.
Okay.
Because I go to meetings.
You still do?
Yes.
Okay.
I will always go to meetings. I don't necessarily, if I'm having a bad day, I go for me now, but mainly I go for the newcomer to show them that it's possible. That's pretty much why I go to meetings now. And I have a sponsor. I work with her.
Have you ever sponsored anybody now?
Yeah, I've sponsored girls.
Good.
I'm not currently sponsoring anybody, but I'm always
at the House of Shifra.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you are.
Well, they have to have different sponsors because it's kind of a conflict of interest. Like,
really?
Yeah, I've had them ask me if I would sponsor them, but like I constantly have, this girl telling me what this girl's doing, and which is good. I want to know what's going on, but that would just be too much. So I'm kind of their go-to. If they need somebody to talk to, they're always welcome to call me, or talk to me.
So let me ask you this: in the House of Shifra, I was there one day when Pastor Sue checked in, and she called Kristen, and she kind of pranked her on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
But Kristen was like, no, pack your stuff, you gotta go. I was like,
so
when
mad.
I say that this lady does not have a zero tolerance, she's like, you can't mess up where the House of Shifra that she runs. And I understand why she's so hard on them as she is, which you need it though. So
Yeah.
I was just like, she was like, pack your stuff and leave. I'm like, ooh, pack your stuff and leave. I'm like, ooh. Kristen said, pack up, you gotta go. I'm like, she has a zero tolerance. You cannot violate where she runs.
No.
And I love it because it's not that she is being mean, but again, you need that structure though.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that structure, it's easy. And that's what I want to ask you. You had to say that you had to switch up things that you were doing. You said the people that, used to go highway, all of you guys are clean now, but they are still at a distance in your life.
Yeah.
So you had to set boundaries of what you was willing to entertain and where you're around. And I wanted to ask a question. Is it fair to say that places that that could be a temptation, is it fair to say that you need to avoid those settings at all times?
So I was using primarily on the west side of this last run out. Mm-hmm. before I got sober. I was primarily on the west side of Indianapolis, and me and my husband, now that we're sober, is coral and fish tanks are our thing.
I want one.
Totally. Like, we have huge tanks in our house. You have to come see them.
I want one. I want to go see the fish. I want one.
Well,
I do. That and a rabbit. That's what I want.
A rabbit?
Yes, I've been advocating for a rabbit for my birthday for the longest. And today is my birthday. Where's my rabbit? Mr. Man, where's my rabbit?
You better get on to Pastor Sue about that one. I'm going to tell her.
I know. Everybody at church has been telling me, oh, girl, I
got you a rabbit.
Yeah, tell my girl, I got me a rabbit set out. I got a trap out. I'm going to get you one. Like, I say, yeah. And they come to the door, Mr. Man at work, and say, it's a DoorDash, and just go. I'm like, I'm getting my rabbit. Trust me. It's coming from somewhere. So I got a lot of people advocate, but we got off topic. But
it's all right.
I want my rabbit. And I want my fish tank. So I got to go to her house. You got the saltwater or?
Saltwater.
Girl, I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's all we have is saltwater.
You ain't not supposed to be jealous of people, but I just became jealous because she's got a saltwater fish tank.
Well, we got like 3 or 4 in our house, big ones.
Yeah. You want to donate one? I'm gonna flip the script and the scriptures. You know what it says? It's better to give than receive. You see, in the Bible it says better to give than receive.
You're welcome to come anytime and check them out.
I'm coming over there. I want to see fish because I want a fish tank, and I've always wanted to go salt water.
That's the only way.
So I'm gonna have to go over there and learn something before I get me one. I have to go over there and that'll teach me how to take care of it. But it's okay. Kristen, thank you so much for sharing your story. Guys, if you have any questions for Kristen, you can leave them in the comment section. And if I got to bring her back on here for her to answer them, I'm going to go. She's right in the corner. Right in the corner. I'm going to go over there and get them. Say, Kristen, we got to do part 2. Okay? But it's amazing. I want to say publicly to you, I am proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you. Continue to push forward and continue to live your best life. Because right now, that's not you anymore.
No, I'm a totally different person.
That's not you anymore. They always say, we don't want to go biblical, but they say, the guys say, hey, it's no more. When he say it's no more, it's no more. So she don't have any, there's no shame. She has nothing to be ashamed about. The only reason why I wanted her to come on here because I want her to try to reach someone, hear her story of how drugs can make you go. Because I had an uncle that told me he got addicted to oxycodone.
Yeah.
And I heard those things they are hard to
kick. It's harder to get off those than it is like heroin or.
And I don't know why. Because they said they are really, 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 really.
Well, like methadone really, really and oxycodone or like people get off of heroin and then they go to like a methadone clinic and it's just starting a whole nother addiction, really. I mean, it's okay if you like get off of it and taper down from it. But most of these people that are doing that it's just another high, and
that's crazy. I'll say this. We really want you guys to understand that drugs are dangerous for anybody, me included. That's why I've always so cautious. I could be in so much pain and my doctor's like, let me give you something for your pain. And I hear the horror stories of people say, that's where it starts sometimes. It starts with pain meds. So it's like,
that's how it was for my husband. He started out with pain meds and then it was cheaper to get heroin than pain medicine.
See, that's scary for me. But we want to bring awareness to how drugs can ruin your life. But then, too, we want to bring awareness that if you're in that dark place in your life, you can do it. She did it. The girls at the House of Shifra is doing it.
Yep.
It may look dark sometimes, but if you got to do the work. What they say, I've never been to an addiction place, but I hear them say you got to work the steps.
You gotta work.
It's worth it, or what's the
it
slogan?
works. It works if you work it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It works if you work it. That's all I'm trying to say. So she did it. I wanted instead of me just coming here sitting and talking about how my personal feelings are about drugs, it's not the same because I never walked in her shoes. You see, her life has been that. She has lived that. She has recovered from that. And if she can do it, anybody can do it, okay? Because it's doable. So, guys, I want to thank you for listening to a Christian story. Be kind in the comment section because you don't want Khadijah. And, you know, I tell them all the time, Pastor Sue know who Khadijah is.
If you have questions, feel free to ask.
See? And we'll do a part 2. Just if you got questions, if you live around in the Indianapolis area, or in Indianapolis area, Anderson area, and you hear Christian story, and you want to reach out, get in the comment section, and I'll sing you on to Christian. If you don't mind, I do want you to send me some pictures. I want to insert them at the end of this video, so we can say, hey, I'm gonna try to put them in order. Say bump, 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 and look at me now.
Okay.
And so you guys can actually see what drugs can do. It can tear your life apart. But guys, you already know what I'm going to say because it's already 31 minutes. You know what I'm gonna say. Love. If you didn't hit that 6-step process when you came in and honor them 2-step requests, now you gotta watch the video all over again because you can't skip the ads. All right? Because that's how we want the revenue to come in on this channel because we're going to put it back in, continue to have things like this. Pastor Sue will be coming on deck to talk to her about what it is, the pastorian, what it really is all entail, because it is truly a job. You really got to have a calling for it. And the patience, okay? First of all, because she done some marathon hours with me. Let's be clear, because when I be going through some moments, I'll be like, Pastor C. But my pastor, your grandmother, is a wonderful woman. When I say if you call her at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you need her, she is going to pick up. It's not like you get the voicemail. She's not that type of pastor. She will pick up the phone. Yep. Okay? She really, truly is. So, with that being said, if you got any questions for Christian, leave them in the comment section. But, she got to show you your tats, honey, because I love her. Put them out there, girl. Look at her, because she is all tatted up. I told my husband, I said, she is tatted up.
My neck.
And I got one little off. I want some more. Because I want you know what I kind of wanted, though? I wanted my kids, like I got this Duff, and I wanted to, because I have 4 kids, and I want to come back up here with a bigger one. And I'd like this one be the baby one for the baby of the family. Yeah. But then I kind of want to like the coral reefs like it's in a fish tank. Yeah. That's what I want. But I'll pass somebody kill me, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm like,
I'm trying to talk her into one.
It's getting wintertime, so I think I can get away with it. I put a shirt on. She can't see my core, but I'm going to get it because I really, truly want to do it because they don't hurt. People always tell me, they hurt. They don't hurt. No. They don't hurt. Mm-hmm. But with that said, guys, you already know to hit that process. You already still know what I'm going to say. It's love God, love yourself, and love others. And what? Stay ready, so how to get ready. This is Chat with Kay, and I have nothing else to say. And let's just give a round of applause for Christian, because I'm going to put in that emoji, thinking that it's going to be clapping. And watch the photos after this for her, before and after her transformation, to be where she is today, pretty with a smile and happy and back with her family. And we love you.
Thank
you.
You
so much. Thank you. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay.